California's political watchdog agency closed a record number of cases last year, including more prosecutions for money laundering than ever before. Hi, I'm Steve Swat for Comcast Newsmakers. Thanks for joining us. And my guest this segment is Jody Remke, who is the chair of the California Fair Political Practices Commission. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So the Political Reform Act was initially passed by the voters in 1974, so you've just passed 40 years.
40-year celebration last year.
And it deals with really behavior of candidates and lobbyists and things like that. Generally, how would you assess the level of compliance with the Political Reform Act by legislators, lobbyists?
I would say that most public officials are trying to comply. I think that's underscored by one of our key roles is providing advice. And last year alone, for example, we gave over 22,000 responses to advice by officials, treasurers, and candidates. So I think it shows their willingness and desire to comply.
And that always brings up a question and an ongoing debate. If someone does not comply for whatever reason, do you try to work with that person, that individual, to make things right and perhaps a reprimand letter, or do you clamp down and institute a fine?
Again, because I think most people are trying to comply, our first step would always be to give advice, to steer them in the right direction, and to help them comply. And then again, if it's a more minor technical violation, that's when we can provide warning letters to steer them in the right direction and hopefully not see them there again.
Is money laundering your biggest challenge, do you think?
I don't know if it's our biggest challenge. It's definitely something we're looking at closely. Obviously, the public wants to know who is funding elections. And the whole point behind campaign finance laws and reporting is so that we can show who is funding what elections. And with money laundering, that avoids that main purpose.
I understand you're also trying to make some improvements at the Commission in terms of technology to sort of streamline the whole process.
Definitely. That's going to be one of our main priorities this year, is using technology to increase transparency. We can ask for as much data as possible, but unless we have a way to collect and share it in a user-friendly way, what's the point of the collection? And so that is our number one priority this year. For example, we're seeking e-filing for our statements of economic interest. That's what every official who makes government decisions has to file with us, so that we can see their personal finances to make sure they're not conflicting with the votes for public interest.
Can you give me a rough idea or breakdown about how many of the investigations that you will conduct come from the public or from candidates who ask you to get involved or are proactive from your standpoint?
Well, last year we had our highest number of proactive cases, over 500 cases, and I think our total number of complaints was 1,400. So what is that, about a third, give or take? So normally it has always been from outside sources, but we are trying to take a more proactive approach. And again, get in there before elections when the information matters the most.
You also, I guess, have to be concerned about candidates, for example, going public saying, I want the FPPC to investigate my opponent, when really it's just a ruse to get votes, perhaps.
We have to be aware of that, and that's why we try to act quickly. As soon as we get a complaint in the door, we try to make a decision whether or not it's something we need to investigate within 3 days. So yes, that's something we're aware of, and we try to discourage.
All right. Well, Jody Remke of the FPPC in California, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Comcast Newsmakers. We hope to see you next time.